or high. Barcelona, the city in Spain, the capital of the autonomous region of Catalonia and the province Barcelona. Port on the Mediterranean Sea in 120 came from border of France and in 504 came to the east of Madrid. The largest industrial and shopping center of Spain. One of the major tourist points in European routes. The population of Barcelona minus people in 2016. It is the second city in Spain on population after Madrid and the 10th in the European Union. In 1992 Barcelona hosted the Summer Olympic Games. In 2004 in Barcelona there took place the World Cultural Forum 2004. In March 2010 Barcelona became the capital of the Mediterranean Union, which includes 43 countries. In 2013 in Barcelona there took place the Water Sports World Cup. The name Barcelona comes from ancient Iberian Barcano. The inscription was found by the Iberian Barcano in Levantine Iberian script font on the right side of an ancient coin. Barcan appears in ancient Greek sources as, and in Latin as Barcino, Barcelumum, fortress, and Barcelona. On some older sources the city, probably, was called in honor of the Carthago general Bamilcar Barca who, as it was supposed, founded the city in the 3rd century BC. But there are no proofs that Barcelona ever was the Carthago settlement and that the name of the city in the ancient time, Barcino, had any relation to the sword Barca of Gamilcara. In the Middle Ages the city was called Barcelona, Barcelona and Barcanona. At the international level the name of Barcelona is mistakenly reduced to Barca. However, such reduction actually belongs only to Football Club Barcelona. The reduced form used by locals, Barn. One more widespread abbreviation, BBN, which is also the IATA code for the airport of Barcelona El Prat. The city is also called by Ciutat Comtal in Catalan language and Ciudad Condal in Spanish. That is, Comital City, or the City of Counts. Because in the past it was the residence the column of Barcelona. Barcelona is located in the northeast of the Iberian Peninsula on the coast of the Mediterranean Sea on the plateau 5 km wide which borders from the south make a mountain ridge Collserola. And the Llobregat River, and in the north the river Besòs. The Pyrenees are approximately in 120 km to the north from the city. Coastal mountains Collserola create slightly rounded city borders. The highest point Mount Tibidabo. Its height is 512 m, over it the television tower noticeable from far away Collserola 288 m high towers. The highest point within the city is the hill Mount Tabor. Mount Tabor. 12 m high, on him is located the Barcelonian Cathedral. Barcelona lies on the hills which gave the name to city quarters. Carmel, 267 m. Monterols, 121 m. Pachet, 181 m. Rovira, 261 m. And Peira, 133 m. From the mountain Montjuic 173 m high in the southwest part of the city the great view of the port of Barcelona opens. On Montjuic, the fortress of the 17th-18th centuries which undertook defensive functions of the destroyed citadel Ciutadella, is located while on the place of the last broke the park. Now in fortress the military museum is placed. Besides fortress on Montjuic there are Olympic venues, cultural institutions and the well-known gardens. In the north the city borders on Santa Coloma de Gramenet and Sant'Andrea de Besós municipalities, in the south, on Hospitalet de Llobregat and Esplugues de Llobregat, in the southeast the city limits the Mediterranean Sea, and in the west there are settlements of Sant Cugat, del Valles and Cerdanyola del Valles. Climate of Barcelona, subtropical. The coldest months are January and February. Average temperature about +10 C. The hottest July and August. Average temperature about +25 C. The greatest number of rainfall drops out in October. About 19. The smallest in July. About 20. According to City Council of Barcelona, for January 1, 2005 the population of the city made 1,593,075 people, the population of Big Barcelona was 5,292,354 persons. For 2006. Population density -15779 people on km. 95% of the population understood Catalan, 76.4% of the population spoke on him, 75% of the population read in Catalan, and 47% owned the letter. 13.8% of the population persons were immigrants from on number Ecuador, Peru, Morocco, Colombia, Argentina, Pakistan, China and Bolivia. The main part of the population professes Catholicism. In the city 208 temples are located. In the city are available few groups of evangelists, Jehovah's Witnesses and Buddhists. Concerning the basis of Barcelona there are two various legends. The first attributes foundation of the city to the hero of the Greek myths Heracles in 400 years prior to the basis of Rome, and then in the 3rd century BB the city was built up by Carthaginian Gamilcar Barca, the father of Hannibal, who called the city of Barcino in honor of the family. The second legend attributes foundation of the city directly to Gamilcar Barca. He founded the settlement at a hill Mantic foot. Suggested to call this camp in his honor Barcino. In 133 BB the Iberian city of Lay was won by Romans led by Publius Cornelius Scipio Aemilian. About the 15th year BB Romans made of the city strengthening which center was located on the Mount Tabor, the small hill near the modern city mayor's office. St. James Square. At Romans the city was called as Colonia Faventia Julia Augusta Pia Barcino. Its value was small in comparison with the next Tarragon. Modern Tarragona. However, his wealth and importance grew thanks to convenient location and the wonderful harbor over time. The city minted own coins which part remains in Scalbi. It is possible and to see remains of ancient strengthenings in the city today, and typical Roman planning is still noticeable on the map of the historic center of the city, so-called Gothic Quarter. So, on Paradis Street about the excursion center of Catalonia the Roman columns are visible. The city expanded within a fortification before gained by Visigoths in the 5th century. By this time Barcelona overshadows Tarragon. At the beginning of the 5th century the city was won by Visigoths. The king Ataulf transferred to short-term the capital here. In 511 near Barcelona there was a fight between Visigoths and Ostgoths which ended with a victory of Ostrogothic army under command of the Duke Eby. At the beginning of the 8th century the city was won by Moors. Shortly before the decisive fight of Arabs happened to Visigoths at the small town of Medina Sidonia. The exact place of battle is unknown, but is considered to be that battled on the small Guadalete River. Messages about battle aren't enough. The Latin Chronicle just celebrates 754 years that Roderigo went to Transdictinsky Mountains. It is unknown what this name belongs to battle, and in fight the whole army is ready, gathered to in deception and from ambitious rivalry for a royal title, ran, and he was killed. So Roderick lost not only the power, but also the homeland, and his rivals died too. The Arab sources say that battle happened on July 19, 711 and, as well as, the Chronicle 754 years, hint that contentions in the ranks of Vestgotsky army allowed Muslims to win a victory when adherents of Aquila, the son of Vtitsa, were developed and ran. It won't be possible to find out details anymore, but the main idea is clear. Tarik with the people inflicted severe defeat over Vestgotsky army, the king died, and the others addressed in chaotic flight. After falling of Toledo and Cordoba under the power of Muslims there were a most part of modern Portugal and Catalonia, however data on the course and circumstances of this occupation are very poor. Jain made amazing success. In 5 years since the beginning of invasion almost all Iberian Peninsula appeared under control of Muslim armies, having become a kernel of the province of Al-Andalus. New governors of Spain left almost at once the first marks in local administration. Most clearly it is visible in a question of stamping of coins. Nasser ibn Nasir's arrival was noted by introduction of the new gold coin based not on Visigotsky and on the North African sample. On the first of these coins the Latin inscription is beaten out. There is no in nomen Domini non duus nisi duus solus, the direct translation of Muslim saying God, except Allah, unusual mixture of Muslim and Latin tradition. The Muslims who conquered Spain didn't lodge in military camps, preferring the southern areas of the Iberian Peninsula. Therefore, probably, Barcelona didn't draw their attention and didn't gain the same rapid development as city of Al-Andalusia. In 801 Charles the Great's son, Louis the Pious fought the city of the Emir and made Barcelona the capital of the Spanish Brand, a buffer zone under control of the Count of Barcelona. The big role was played by the Margrave Wilfrid Velocity, the actual founder of independent Catalonia. Barcelona still remained a Christian outpost when in 985 it was plundered by Almanzor. This attack gave a reason to the Count of Barcelona Borel of II to be exempted from the power of Carlovingians. Columns of Barcelona in the 10th-11th centuries found real independence and broadened the territory across all Catalonia. As a result of the dynastic union of Catalonia and Aragon in 1162, Alfonso II became the first king of the joint state. The King Jaime I expanded borders of the possession at the expense of the southern territories. Kingdom Valencia. The Aragonese kingdom in the 13th century subordinated many marine territories, controlled the western part of the Mediterranean Sea, and also had the remote outposts, such as Athens. The Catalano-Aragonese Confederation created many Gothic constructions and created such legislative rules as the Code of Customs. In 1410 the crown passed to a Castilian dynasty of Trastamare. Decline of Barcelona began with association of dynastic branches of Aragon and Castile. In 1450 in the city the well-known University of Barcelona was founded. Jews lived in Barcelona since the 1st century, since destruction of the temple. By the beginning of the 13th century the community of Barcelona was the richest and influential Jewish community and the center of the Jewish learning in Spain. In 1263 in Barcelona the well-known public debate in the Jewish history between Nachmanid and the monk apostate Pablo Cristiani took place. In 1367 inhabitants of the Jewish ghetto of the city were accused by a Christian church of defilement of sacred bread. The authorities drove all inhabitants of a ghetto and locked in a closed synagogue without a possibility of food and drink, departure of natural needs. This violence had to force Jews to execute Command the Infanta of Don Juana, the deputy of the King of Don Pedro, and the community was forced to pay off with property of all the debts and to give 3 innocent people for burning on a fire of Christian Inquisition. Further special identification marks obliged to carry Jews of Barcelona. In 1391 a Christian crowd completely ruined and destroyed the Jewish ghetto, having killed about 400 people. On ruins of a synagogue the church in which the escaped Jews were subjected to a violent baptism was built. In 1397 the king forbade existence of the Jewish ghetto. In 1492 all Jews of Spain who didn't agree to be christened were gathered and then turned out from the kingdom. Merge of the highest Spanish nobility and tops of the Jewish community came so far that when Jews were expelled from Spain, at the head of expelled there was the king's nephew. A part of Jews adopted Christianity, but they remained subjects to suspicion among non-Jews. Only in 5 centuries in Spain synagogues appeared again. Barcelona was devastated after crash of the Catalan Republic. 1640-1652. During War for the Spanish Inheritance on September 14, 1705 the British fleet under the direction of the column Peterborough attacked Barcelona, and already on October 9 the city surrendered. Most of Catalans of hatred to Madrid recognized the Archduke Karl Avstrijski. Charles III as the king, and the city became Charles' residence up to 1711. However, when in February 1706 Peterborough entered Valencia, Philip V Hispansky moved to Barcelona, but the siege ended with severe defeat. But in 1714 Philip V rose and, after a long siege, on September 11 took Barcelona. Further he destroyed a half of trade quarter. To construct the military fortress of Ciudadela, that at the same time and to catch control over the rebellious city, and to punish its inhabitants. Many leaders of Catalan separatists were repressed, ancient liberties, or burned by the executioner's hand. Official use of Catalan was forbidden, and the university is closed. After capture of Barcelona on January 14, 1809 by the General Suchet and conquest of Spain, the province of Catalonia and the city were annexed by the Napoleonic French Empire. After Napoleon's overthrow in 1813 the city returned Spain again. An industrial revolution of the 19th century, the set of the enterprises appeared. During weakening of control from the Madrid authorities, medieval walls in 1860 were destroyed, and the fortress of La Ribera is turned into the city park, modern Parque de la Ciutadella, the venue of the World Fair of 1888. The city began to grow in the territory of Place de Barcelona, neighboring fields and kitchen gardens. At the beginning of the 20th century revival of Barcelona, while Catalan nationalists demanded political autonomy and bigger freedom of cultural expression, is noted. In 1929 in Barcelona the World Fair was held again. During Civil War the city belonged to Republicans and was occupied by Frankists on January 26, 1939. In the next decades Barcelona became an object of cultural and political repressions. In particular, use of Catalan was forbidden. The movement of a protest in the 1970th years and falling of dictatorship turned Barcelona into the large cultural center, having predetermined future prosperity of the city. Though it still is only the second city of the Iberian Peninsula, the unique atmosphere does it unique and attractive to many. City authorities actively promote revival of Catalan. Despite Massachusetts' immigration of Castilians in the second half of the 20th century, significant progress in use of Catalan in everyday life is noted. Barcelona became the venue of the Summer Olympic Games of 1992, the sports event most significant for the city. Juan Antonio Samaranch, who in 1992 was the president of the AAC, the native of Barcelona. In 2004 the city hosted the World Cultural Forum lasting 141 days. Economy. Barcelona is one of the first regions of continental Europe in which the industrialization, which began as well as in other places, began with the textile industry. At the end of the 18th century to the middle of the 19th century, Barcelona became the important center of the textile industry and mechanical engineering. After that, industrial production began to play an important role in the history of the city. As well as in other modern cities, the serving sector of economy begins to prevail over making. Now primary branches of the industry are textile, chemical, pharmaceutical, automobile and electronic. In the 20th century in Barcelona made cars of the brands Hispano-Suiza, David Otto's fabrication. As of the 2010 years there are car assembly plants both the Spanish firm Seat, Volkswagen Group, and such foreign producers as Renault, Peugeot, Ford here and so on. The Barcelonian City Council founded 11 economic sectors under the Barcelona brand. The Center of Digital Technologies is founded in 2003 for transformation of Barcelona into the center of high technologies. The Space Association was founded in 2000. The space industry is recognized by each of one of the main. The enterprises of Barcelona participated in developments of such projects as the Airbus A and the Galileo space probe. The University Center is founded in 1997. In the city 7 universities with the total number of students of 204.000 people are located. Researches, both fundamental and applied, are conducted. Involvement of students from other countries is planned. The foundation of the environment is set up in 1997 for improvement of an ecological situation in the city and vicinities. The Fund for Development of the Mediterranean Diet is founded in 1996 for development of the food industry. The Barcelonian Center of Logistics is created in 1994 for development of transport, especially railway and sea and also infrastructures. Management of Tourism is founded in 1993 for coordination of actions in the field of tourism. Tourism industry is an important part of economy, and Barcelona is one of the main tourist centers in Europe. The sixth place in Europe in popularity at tourists. The Association of Financial Centers is founded in 1991 for development of financial activity, in particular, of the exchange. The Medical Center is founded in 1987. Barcelona is known for the medical experts. Patients from many countries receive treatment here. In Barcelona, large international medical forums are held. The Barcelonian Center of Design is founded in 1976. The Bioregion Biomed Fund is created for development of biomedicine and biotechnology. Barcelona is the center of holding the large fair, La Fira. In the city, numerous international economic forums and one of the oldest blockchain markets of Europe, Encants, are held. The history of port in Barcelona contains about 2000. The port is the most important in implementation of freight and passenger traffic on the Mediterranean coast. The port occupies the space in 7.86 km. Also, it is divided into 3 zones: Old Port, Trade Port, and Port for Transportations. Logistics. The port quickly grows. Its size is to be doubled at the expense of the mouth of the Llobregat River on 2 km in the southern direction. Barcelona is served by the International Airport Barcelona, located in the city of El Prat de Llobregat in 10 km from Barcelona. The airport is the second largest airport in Spain and the largest on the Mediterranean coast. The airport is connected to the city, the line of the L subway, the railroad, the high-speed highway and bus traffic. The Sabadell Airport, smaller by the size, is located near the city of the same name and is used for trainings of flight personnel, advertising and private flights. Also regular flights, mainly budget airlines, and some charter flights are made in the airports of the cities of Girona, Costa Brava Airport. On the coast, Costa Brava, about 100 km to the north from Barcelona, and Reus on the coast, Costa Gilteit, about 110 km to the south from Barcelona. Barcelona is one of the main railway junctions of Spain. The main railway station, Sant Eustacio. The network of the high-speed railroad avenue has to be prolonged from Madrid up to Tarragona in the southern part of Catalonia. The line was prolonged up to Barcelona in 2008. It is planned to connect by 2011th Avenue to similar TAV in France. The network of the Barcelonian subway contains 11 lines designated by the number and color every one. 8 of them, L, 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 L and L, are supervised by Management of Transport of Barcelona of Transports Metropolitans de Barcelona, TM. Another 3 lines, L, L and L, belong to the Ferrocarrils de la Generalitat de Catalunya Company, EGD. The subway connects Barcelona to some suburbs. Now works on construction of L line 43 km long are continued. It will be the second longest line of the subway in Europe. Lines of the subway are laid as underground and on a surface. In the downtown, the network of the subway joins two underground stations of local trains of the National Railroads RENF and local ADD. The TM company possesses also network of city buses and tourist buses for sightseeing tours. Also there are lines of the high-speed low-floor tram bikes, TTT, and trambisos, TTT, for which special stops with platforms at the level of the car and electronic terminals of sale of tickets are organized. The special tram line, Blue Tram, conducts on Mount Tibidabo. Funiculars rise by mountains Montjuic and Tibidabo. See the Tibidabo funicular. Montjuic. It is also possible to rise by top on the cableway. Lines of the night and bus, Nitbus, work in the city. There are special buses. Aerobus to the airport, port buses to seaport and Tibibus to the amusement park on the Mount Tibidabo. All city transport is adapted for disabled people. The Northern Bus Station was railway earlier and now serves the international and intercity buses. The park of the taxi has more than 13,000 cars. The majority of licenses belongs to private drivers. The travel by the taxi is a cheap and convenient way to reach from the airport to downtown, especially if you have a family or a lot of baggage. In the city, practice of rent for 1 hour of the small cars supplied with GPS navigators with the right of the free parking extends. They are called by the yellow car or Go Cars Barcelona. Since 1984 the city is divided into 10 administrative regions, each of which is operated by the council. Districts of the city: Old City, Ciutat Vella, La Barceloneta, El Pòtic, Gothic Quarter, El Raval, also known as Barri Zines, Sant Per, Santa Caterina I la Ribera, Icample, 50 Antigua Esquerra de el Icample, La Nova Esquerra de el Icample, Trita de el Icample, Fort Pink, Sagrada Familia Sant Antoni, Sant Montjuïc, La Bordeta, La Font de la Guatla, Hostafrancs, La Marina de Port, La Marina del Prat Vermell, El Poblesec, Sants Badal, and 2 administrative units which aren't sub-districts, but being a part of Sants Montjuïc. Montjuïc and Zona Franca Port. Forest Courts. Les Courts, La Maternitat I Sant Ramon, Pedralbes. Sarria, Sant Gervasi. El Putjet I Fara, Sarria, Sant Gervasi, La Bonanova, Sant Gervasi, Galvani, Les Tres Torres, Velvidrera, El Tibidabo I Les Plains. Gracia. Vila de Gracia, Camp de en Grasset I Gracia Nova, La Salet, Alcohol, I Valcarca I Els Penitents. Portugunardo. El Gunardo, El Gunardo, Canbaro, El Carmel, La Font de en Fargs, Horta, La Clota, Montba, Sant Genis dels Agadels, La Tixanera, La Vol de Hebron. New Barris. Canpagara, Canyels, Ciutat Meridiana, La Guinuta, Porta Prosperitat, Le Roquets, Torbaro, La Trinitat Nova, El Turo de la Pera, Volbona Verdum, Villa Picina I La Torlabetta. Sant Andrew. Moro de Viver, Bon Pastor, El Congos y els Indians, Navas Sant Andrew de Palomar, La Sagrera, Trinitat Vella. Sant Martí. El Besos y el Maresme, el Clot, el Camp de el Arpa del Clot, Diagonal Mar y el Front Maritime del Pobl Nou, el Parc y la Lacuna del Pobl Nou, el Pobl Nou, Provincals del Pobl Nou, Sant Martí de Provincals, La Verneda y la Pau, la Villa Olímpica del Pobl Nou. Policy. Since 2015 the mayor of Barcelona is Ada Colau. She released Jordi Hariu from this duty. Sites. The Royal Palace in Gothic Quarter, the former residence of Counts of Barcelona and Kings of Aragon. The old city can be divided into 3 parts conditionally. The most ancient part is Gothic Quarter between Boulevard La Ramble and Avenue of Viaduct Laietana. In Gothic Quarter many evidence of the Roman presence on Hill Montabur slopes remained. Since the Gothic period residential buildings and burials near the street of Viaduct Laietana remained. Since the Middle Ages the Cathedral of the Sacred Cross and Saint Eulalia in particular street. Lucius Chapel and Church Sant Pau del Camp. The 12th century. Remained. Interestingly a known cafe, Four Cats, which is in Gothic Quarter. Quarter of La Riber was lasted out from Viaduct Laietana to Commerce Street. And from Princessy Street. To the sea. The quarter of Ravel. Arable. Is located between the Boulevard Rambla and streets Ronda San Antoni and Ronda San Pau. In the territory of the old city the well-known park of the Citadel where the array Parliament of Catalonia and a zoo of Barcelona was stretched. Practically all long coastline of Barcelona is occupied by 8 beaches with a total length about 5 km. From the east on the west. San Sebastian, Barcelonet, San Miguel, Somorrostro, Nova Icaria, Bogatel, Marbella, Levante. Beaches have a sandy or gravel covering. All beaches in the run-up to the Olympic Games of 1992 were updated and equipped with stationary volleyball nets, platforms for power trainings. Workout. Platforms for a game in Petanque, and now the popular vacation spot for local youth and numerous tourists. Some beaches are popular among representatives of Laiet communities. All beaches are equipped with comfortable toilet cabins, a shower under the open sky, posts of police and observation posts of rescue team. Along a chain of beaches the highway Coltsevea Embankment N, a road number of B-10, with a total length of 20 km was stretched. It is open on May 5, 1981. On which the Barcelonian Oceanarium of 50 Aquarium, the Historical Museum of Catalonia, Natural History Museum, Shipyard Drassanes are located. An architectural monument of the 14th century in which the Maritime Museum of Barcelona is nowadays located. The Ciutadella Park, numerous casinos and hotels, the port, lagoons and yacht clubs. The city administration also orders from artists of a sculpture for installation in public spaces. The long travel can be an example. To the Olympic Games of 1992 the new residential area was built. In this area the Olympic port and 2 skyscrapers, Hotel Arts Hotel and the building of MAP for insurance company more than 150 m high are located. Buildings are built on the project of architects Bruce Graham, Inigo Ortiz and Enrique Leon. Home Montjuic 173 meters high is near seaport. The hill received the name because of the ancient Jewish cemetery located here. From top of the hill beautiful views of the city and sea open. Montjuic is one of the largest city parks of Europe. 203 hectares. At top of the hill the fortress constructed in 1640 is located. Since 1960 in fortress the military museum is placed. To the World Fair of 1888 the hill slope from Parallel Avenue was equipped. To the next World Fair which was taking place in Barcelona the north side of the hill was built up. From the area of Spain where meet Gran Vias Tarragona and the Parallel, the best view of the hill opens. On the square there is an old arena for a bullfight. On other side of the square there are two bell towers similar to bell towers at Piazza San Marco in Venice. Nearby there is a National Museum of Art of Catalonia and the magic fountain created on the project of the Catalan architect Carles Buigues. One of the most interesting objects of Montjuic is so-called the Spanish Village. The architectural museum under the open sky where copies of buildings from various regions of Spain are collected. At an entrance there is a copy of gate from the city of Avila. The complex was constructed to a World Fair of 1929 by architects Xavier Nogues, Miquel Ufrillo and Ramon Raventos under the leadership of Francisco Folger. To the right of the Magic Fountain there is a modern reconstruction of the Pavilion of Germany which original was constructed in Barcelona by the famous architect modernist Ludwig Mies van der Rohe to a World Fair of 1929. To the Olympic Games of 1992 the latest works on reconstruction of Montjuic were carried up. Here the main Olympic constructions were constructed. On the southern slope it is located so-called the Olympic Ring, including the Olympic Stadium and Sports Palace. On the hill there is also a museum Joan Amiro. During an era of government of the Queen Isabella II city walls were demolished and the plan of an urbanization as a result of which there was a so-called new city Eixample was adopted. The area begins from the area of Catalonia and includes all central part of the city. Direct perpendicular streets were laid and squares in quarters are broken. The area of Catalonia is bordered between Gothic Quarter and Eixample. The Ronda Samper highways and Ronda Universitat or depart from the area. On crossing Ronda Universitat and Grand Viaduct the old building of the university built in the middle of the 19th century is located. One of trunk mains of the area is the Paseo de Gracia. On the section of the street between Cancel de Saint and Arago there is a quarter of contention, differently the quarter of disagreement, designated so because there are buildings, the architecture monuments belonging to 4 different architects modernists. The first building among the House of Leo Aimori constructed on the project of the architect Dominican Montanera. 2 following buildings are built by Enrique Sangier. Then Amelie's house, the architect of Pachacatafoc, is located. The world-famous Casa Batlló constructed by Gaudí closes a row. On the same hand out Paseo de Gracia there is one more building built by Gaudí, Casa Mella. The Palace of Catalan Music close to the handout Via Laietana is considered the maximum manifestation of modernism and includes many elements of this style. The complex of buildings of Hospital of the Sacred Cross and Holy Oil is also characteristic of a modernism era. The Barcelonian Aquarium, the largest in Europe, has underwater glass tunnel, the longest in the world. The Museum Can Framis, the art center devoted to promoting of modern Catalan painting. It is located in the territory of Old Cotton Mill. Over the city Tibidabo top towers. It is possible to reach the funicular by blue tram. At the next top of Torre de la Villana the television tower of Torre de Collserola 286 m high is located. At Tibidabo's top the amusement park created more than 100 years ago and repeatedly modernized is located. Near the park the Temple of Sacred Heart. Sacred Core. Similar in principle to the temple of the same name Sacré-Cœur on Montmartre in Paris is located. The region of Pedralbes is in the southern part of Diagonal Avenue between mountains Montjuic and Tibidabo. On the avenue high-rise buildings of Caixa Catalunya Bank, Savings Bank of La Caixa, Shopping Center, 50 Illa Diagonal. And buildings of the campus are located. The library of the university is in the room of a country house of Gal. In Pedralbes there is a monastery of the same name founded in 1326 by Elisenda de Moncada, the last wife of the king Tujama II. The portal and the coats of arms of family Moncada are selected. In a nave stained glass windows of the 14th century remained. In the monastery the art gallery of Tesenabornemesin numbering about 70 cloths of masters of the Middle Ages and Renaissance is located. The area is built up both with mansions and apartment houses. The daughter of the King Juan Carlos, the Princess Cristina lives in one of houses of the area. Around Hortigunarda, near the Mundit metro station and a bicycle track the Labyrinth Park is located. In the territory of one park two different styles are combined. The park of the 18th century in neoclassical style and the romantic park of the 19th century. The most attractive to tourists is the Labyrinth, the main attraction of the park. In the territory of the park the former palace of Desval's family, a pond, the romantic canal, etc. is located. The majority of works of the outstanding Catalan architect is in Barcelona. Lamps on Plaça Real. Karolovskaya Square. 1879. And Casa Vicens belong to the first works of Gaudí. 1883-1889. Construction of pavilions of the estate UCB Gals column near Pedralbes also belongs to the same period. Nowadays in the territory of the estate the library of University of Barcelona was placed. The father Antoni Gaudí shaped a dragon for gate of this estate. The meeting with Gaudí was decisive in Gaudí's biography. Gaudí became the close friend and the patron Gaudí, financed the majority of fantastic projects of the architect, gave him the chance of self-expression. Construction of the palace near the Boulevard Ramblers became one of the first serious works on Gel's order, besides pavilions. Construction of the palace brought popularity to the architect. Since 1984, the Palais Gel is World Heritage of UNESCO. The same year, the following creations of Gaudi were referred to World Heritage of UNESCO. Sagrada Familia, Facade of Christmas and Crypt, Casa Vicens, Park Gel, Casa Batlló, House of Bones, and Casa Milla, Stone Quarry. The palace was built 1886-1889 on rather small ground, 18x22 m. Gaudi managed to build the building with very difficult internal volume. The salon of the second floor was executed in the form of the inside patio with a dome. The facade is decorated with the beautiful bay window and parabolic entrance arches allowing entrance of crews to the stable. The building is decorated with numerous shot elements. Casas Batlló, the neoclassical mansion built in 1875, stood still. Gaudi reconstructed the building, having created two new facades. Also, the first two floors were completely reconstructed. On Gaudi's project, furniture was also made. The cella, the top floor and the inside patio were completed. The symbolics of the building has different interpretation. At the end of works on construction of Casa Batlló of Gaudi received the order for construction of the new house. This building isn't accidental, received the name Stone Quarries. Gaudi scooped the ideas from the nature. Especially he was inspired by a view of mountains Montserrat located near Barcelona. At top of Mount Montserrat there is a monastery of the same name known for a sculpture of the Black Madonna, the place of a pilgrimage from all Spain. My analogy, on the rooftop of Milla it was supposed to establish sculptural composition of the Mother of God with the baby. However, the house owner rejected the project. There was only a Latin inscription located the wavy lying on all length of a facade. Park Gel. The park was implementation of the plan for reorganization of the city estate of UCB Gel. It was supposed to build the settlement garden, like formal gardens. From here and the name. Implementation of the project wasn't successful. Under building only 62 sites were sold. However, it didn't stop the architect. The access roads, the central esplanade and the lower columned halls intended for entertainment and trade were constructed. Then the wall and two entrance pavilions and also a house sample for individual building were put up. At the third stage the huge twisted bench was built. In the park 2 houses were constructed. Not on Gaudi's project. There were anymore no persons interested to lodge in this place remote at the time. The architect lodged in one of these houses. Now in this building there is Gaudi's House Museum. In 1891 Gaudi continued construction of Sagrada Familia, which had to become the temple of a new century. Until the end of the life, having even left architectural practice, Gaudi continued to be engaged in construction of the temple, including it in the main thing in the biography. At the end of the life Gaudi became very eccentric because of religionism. He practically didn't leave the workshop. The absent-mindedness of the architect led of him to death under tram wheels. By the time of the death of the architect in 1926, the temple wasn't completed. Difficulties arose because Gaudi worked without drawings. One new facade with modernist sculptures was built, including Gaudi's sculpture. Still, there are works on construction of one more facade and the central bell tower. With construction of the central tower, the church has to become the highest in the world. In Barcelona there are 16 buildings and 5 constructions 100 meters high and more. Barcelona has several teams, both professional and amateur. FC Barcelona, one of two the largest in Spain and in the world of football clubs, along with the Madrid Real, the numerous winner of the Championship of Spain. Regular participant and 5-time winner. Seasons 1991, 1992, 2005, 2006, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011 and 2014, 2015. Champions Leagues of UEFA. Its stadium of Club the Museum, which on attendance takes the second place in Catalonia, is located. Besides, the club has professional teams on basketball, Winterthur XCB, handball and roller hockey, and also a great number of amateur teams on different types of sport. Espanyol, the second team from Barcelona in the Football Championship of Spain. Barcelona Basketball Club, the winner of EuroLeague, the repeated champion of Spain. Barcelona hosted the Summer Olympic Games of 1992 and also several matches of the FIFA World Cup of 1982. In Barcelona there are 2 5-star stadiums: Camp Nou and the Olympic Stadium, at which there took place the Olympic Games of 1992 and acted then Espanyol, while in 2009 the new club stadium wasn't completed. In Montmeló near Barcelona passes traditional the Grand Prix of Spain in Formula 1 races and also motorcycle races. Before the race of Formula 1 passed across public roads in Pedralbes and on Montjuic. Annually there passes the Barcelonian Marathon. Still, there is a futsal club, Barcelona Alasport. Barcelona is the European capital of skateboarding. In honor of Barcelona, the asteroid 945. Barcelona opened in 1921 in Fabra Observatory, Barcelona, by the Spanish astronomer José Comasola. The native of Barcelona is called Barcelona in cinema. The films shot in Barcelona are actions of which happen in Barcelona. 1975, The Profession. The Reporter, cut. Michelangelo Antonioni. 1984, Snack Bar on Wheels, cut. Hoon. 1989, If They Tell That You Feel, cut. Vicente Aranda. 1993, The Bilingual Lover, cut. Vicente Aranda. 1994, Barcelona, cut. White Stillman. 1994, A Flemish Board, cut. Jim McBride. 1995, The Earth and Freedom, cut. Ken Loach. 1999, All About My Mother, cut. Pedro Almodovar. 1999, Why Not I? Cut. Stefan Giusti. 1999, Dear Friend, cut. Ventura Pons. 2001, Midday with Gaudi, cut. Susan Sadelman. 2001, Unsweetened Life, cut. Beatrice Flores Silva. 2002, Spaniard, cut. Cedric Klapisch. 2004, To Kill Freud, cut. Joaquin Orestrel. 2006, The Perfumer. History of One Murderer, cut. Tom Tykwer. The episode was removed in the Labyrinth Park Horta. 2006, El Salvador, cut. Manuel Huerga. 2007, Report, cut. Tujama Balaguero and Paco Plas. 2008, Vicky Cristina Barcelona, cut. Woody Allen. 2009, The Report 2, cut. Tujama Balaguero and Paco Plas. 2010, Beautiful, cut. Alejandro Gonzalez and Aritu. 2011, 11, cut. Darren Busman. 2012, The Report 3, cut. Paco Plas. 2012, 3 meters over sky level. I Want You, cut. Fernando Gonzalez Molina. 2013, Summer Night in Barcelona, cut. Donny D. Law Orden. 2013, The Last Days. Los Últimos Dias, cut. Alex and David Pastor. 2013, Ismail, cut. Marcelo Pinheiro. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.